Oh, hey everybody, it's Romania Black. So I talked about this in the May update video on the channel, but as of this month, Delicious in Dungeon, aka Dungeon Meshi, is concluding, or we're catching up with the first season. And so this season had been something that was on my Friday slot, which is my Romania's Choice selection. So I had wanted to watch Dungeon Meshi since last November. It's been 24 weeks of amazingness, but now I'm ready to start a new series. And so I had so many ideas, I did not know where to start, but I wanted to ask Patreon, who support me on this channel, what their ideas were for series that I should watch. And I want to go in and say this video is about the process, the organization, and selecting the replacement series for Dungeon Meshi and what I'm going to do with the many recommendations that I've received in this selection, right? So basically how I started was I put out, and I'm going to show you all on screen kind of my process, because I was overwhelmed with how many responses and recommendations I had received. It was wild, and we're going to go through it. So bear with me. This might be a long video, but I didn't think I could fit it all in the May update video, and I wanted to make this its own thing. And we are going to pick the series that's going to replace it here in this video, so just stay tuned. But yeah, so here was the post. I said a short series ideas for replacing Dungeon Meshi over on Patreon. Hey y'all, Dungeon Meshi season 1, aka Delicious in Dungeon, is going to be ending mid-May, and while we wait on season 2. Now, again, I put in November. I was bamboozled. As far as I know, season 2 is unfortunately not coming in November. I'm frustrated by that, but whatever. I talked about that in the May update video, but I wanted some series ideas for replacements. Now, I did have some criteria. The first thing was I did not want anything over 25 or 26 episodes, essentially because I know I could just say a 12 episode series, but have been a lot of recommendations of series that were like 24 to 25 episodes, maybe 26 if you count like a movie or an OVA. And I didn't want to say no to those because there's been some that have been recommended so many times. I just didn't want anything that was like 3 or 4 seasons or like 100 episodes or something like that, because I have a lot of long running series on the channel already. I didn't want to do that. I want to try to watch some more anime this year, so I wanted shorter series. So that was the first thing. The second thing was I asked that people not bash the comments in the shows that get recommended. We all have different tastes. I like to go in completely blind, and sometimes shows that people think are terrible, I end up loving. And vice versa. So I didn't want to have any type of connotations with the shows going in. I just wanted recommendations, just shows that you were like, this is what I would watch. Here you go. And then the other thing was I want to go in as blind as possible. So I wanted to know nothing about the shows. When I organized my nominations that you all will see down below, I organized them based on genres, and how I found out the genre was I put the series into a search engine. I clicked the wiki, I went to the little bar that said the genre, and I went off of that. And that's all I read because I did not want to know anything about the show. So that's how I did it. But I was expecting like maybe, 20, 30 comments, maybe that. I ended up, now this did include my replies, 260 comments. I think this is the most commented post I've ever done on Patreon. And there were over 100 series nominated. Just when I think that there's not a lot of anime left for Romania to watch, I am instantly proven wrong. And these are short series. There were 100 different series that were 12 to 26 episodes. That's a lot. And some of them had lots of nominations and recommendations. So I was like, what the fudge? So I'm not going to go through all these comments, but what I will show you is that I had like, someone would say, okay, I want Girls Last Tour. And I'd be like, oh, thanks for the recommendation. Some people would like, reply and say, oh, that's a great choice or something like that. And that was cool. But if you notice, I would heart the reply and then some other people would heart them as well. That's going to be important because that helped determine and narrow down the 12 that I have, because I wanted to use the spinning wheel of fate to determine our series. But there are only 12 spots on this sucker. So we're going to come back to that in a second. So I needed to narrow down from hundreds of series to 12. So what I ended up doing, because I'm a teacher and I am hyper organized and I have to sort out things. I'm a lister. You know, some people, when they brainstorm, they're clusters. Some people make diagrams. Some people are listers or bullet point people. I'm a bullet point list person. But I also like organizing in terms of genre. I like sorting things out. It's just, it makes things so much easier to sift through, especially when you have lots of information. So I organized all of the nominations in the form of genres. And then I went through every show of every genre and counted out how many hearts those series had gotten. So, for example, we had 7 series that were that didn't make the these were all series that were recommended once in the poll. So to clarify, I'm going to go through here. You can kind of see there's a lot of series. There were so many. I like also doing the rainbow highlighting because I love rainbows. Why not? We're going to get up here to the top. These one up here at the top, we'll talk about them in a hot second, but you'll notice that they all have like little X's and 3s. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a hot second. But of these, there were 7 that were sports anime that were recommended among the short series, which I thought was kind of cool. I liked that there were some sports anime. I'm watching Chihaya Furu as my sports anime slot on Thursdays, but that's not to say that I'm opposed to doing another sports anime in the future. That's part of it. I honestly, Medalist stood out to me because it's a series I really want to watch. I've been very curious about it, and seeing it recommended so much, it almost made the top 12. Medalist almost made it, and I was like, oh, dang, that would be a really cool series. So I think it would be something really fun to watch in the future. And I watched Free and Run with the Wind at the same time, and they're both sportsy anime, so I don't know why not. So we'll just keep that in mind. I want to preface and say that there were so many anime recommended. Obviously, only one gets chosen. It's like Highlander, they can be only one. But I'm going to have series all throughout the rest of the year. So some of these that got really close in recommendations but didn't quite make the top 12 will probably be on future polls. And some of them will be like featured on future polls just out of curiosity. So I'm excited about that. I've also done in the past lots of polls that were just specific genres. And I realized that that kind of can limit things, but also make it really obvious who the winner is, because it's like, oh, well, of the music anime, I want to pick this one. So I might in the future do like mixed genres to just put in a sports anime with a music one, with an action one, and just see what everybody's feeling, because I think that that might be kind of cool. So you can comment down below if you think that would be a fun idea to do that. I'm also considering doing a manga reaction poll this summer, so that's something as well. If you think that there are manga series, if you'd like to see me react to a manga series instead of an anime, you can comment that down below as well. But yeah, so there were 7, Oblivion Battery, Birdie Wing, which is about golf, which I'm super hyped about. Prince of Stride, Medalist was the one that was the most recommended. One Outs, Blue Box, and Salaryman's Club, which Salaryman's Club sounds so much fun. Again, some of these I was like, I kind of, especially for Romania's Choice, I'm like, I kind of want to watch some of these that are like kind of oddballs. And I will say, just because there weren't a lot of recommendations for some of these series from Patreon, on the Romania's Choice segment, even though I am kind of going off of popular choice this one time, there are some of these shows that I'm like, that sounds really freaking cool. So I might just pull them in the future, or just be like, I want to watch this show, and just do it just because I'm really excited about it. So we'll see. We'll see. Then there were a lot of music anime that were nominated. These were 4 that didn't make the top 12. So those Snow White Notes, which I remember when that came out. Your Lie in April has been recommended a lot in the past. It got close. Kono Oto Tomare and Jellyfish. Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night. Alexander Q recommended that. It looks super cool. It didn't get a lot of recommendations, probably because people don't know about it. It seemed kind of neat. So who knows? We'll see. I might do like a throw the darts in the future. Nobody wanted me to throw the darts this time. I had a poll on Patreon of how you want me to choose the next 2 shows. We did a Patreon poll for the Tuesday slot in the afternoon, and then the Spinning Wheel of Fate was the other option. But I had on there throw darts, and I was like, nobody picked that. So I might just do that for the replacement because I really want to throw darts. I was like, why not? I'll do it on Conspiracy Board Sama, and then Official Cloud Bakery can write a fan fiction about how I'm torturing Conspiracy Board Sama. Anyway, so then we had quite a few fantasy series that were recommended. Some of them had a lot of recommendations, like Hell's Paradise. I know they have a 2nd season in production of it. Rankings of Kings has been recommended a lot. The Raven Does Not Choose Its Master sounded really interesting. Doro Hidoro has been recommended quite a bit, and it got really close. But there are also others like Morbido, Guardian of the Sacred Spirit. That one's been recommended. Then there were some that were a slice of life or were just like miscellaneous. I didn't really know what to do with them other than comedy or slice of life. I was like, eh. Like Saran's on My, I'm going to get to eventually. I want to watch it this year. It might come this summer because I really want to watch it. So it's going to come this summer or fall. It keeps getting like, it keeps being the bridesmaid on so many damn polls, and I'm almost about done. Like it in 91 days, I'm about done, and those series are about to be watched because they get so close and then they just kind of fade away. And I'm like, I just kind of want to see them. So this year, Saran's on My and 91 days, it might be their time. It might be their time. We'll just have to wait and see. And then Barakamon, I kind of want to see it. But there's a lot on here I didn't know about. Fooly Cooley was put on here, which I thought was fun. It's the only series on here that I have technically watched before, but I want to preface by saying I watched it back when I was like 12. I don't remember much about it except how weird it was. And I think I would want to go back and rewatch it now that I'm an adult and would understand it and appreciate it 1,000 times more. So I'm going to keep it on the possibility list because I don't really consider it a watch show by me because I don't remember it that well. And then Keep Your Hands Off. Azokin's been on the polls, and so has My New Boss is Goofy. Then these were some Magical Girls or Girl Power series. Kill la Kill, Flip Flappers, Girls Band Cry, and Fairy Ranmaru. Those were on there. So then there were a lot of romance, which there were romance that made the top situation. Scum's Wish, Orange, Dakaichi. My Love Story with Yamada-kun, I actually really am interested in that series. So it was kind of cool. And then same with Jellyfish Princess. Wotakoi has been on there for a lot of the polls. But there were a couple really cool ones that I'm really excited about. I am going to be watching Cherry Magic coming up on Tuesdays. So I feel like my romance slot is filled right now. But in the summer, who knows? We might need another one. And then these series were all action series. Solo Leveling, I've had a lot of YouTube recommendations for Solo Leveling. Patreon is just not as interested in Solo Leveling as YouTube is. So who knows? Maybe it'll come, maybe, YouTube folks, you just got to spend $1 and then you can recommend Solo Leveling all you want. But I gotta keep my patrons happy. I have my coworker. It was one of those things where my coworker does not know that I have a channel. They don't know I'm a reactor. And they came by my office today and they were like, hey, I saw a show you might want to watch. I'm watching Blue Eye Samurai. And part of me was like, cool, that's neat. I'll put it on my list. And the other part of me was like, please don't spoil anything. And they didn't. They were super nice. They were just like, yeah, it's really adult. And I was like, okay, cool. So I would like to see Blue Eye Samurai eventually. But yeah, some of these other ones on here have been recommended quite a bit in previous polls. So I definitely want to keep them around. So anyway, then we have one of the ones that made the top 12 spots on the spinning wheel, which we'll talk about, Orb on the Movements of the Earth. It's been recommended quite a bit. It has been recommended in the January survey on this. Truck recommended it, and 24 people agreed that it should be watched. So I was like, okay, cool. I've also seen Brave Bang Bravern on there. There's been some other ones. The Melancholy of Haruhi. I've heard of that one before. Children of Wales. All right. You will probably notice that there is a big old line through Made in Abyss. I've had Made in Abyss recommended before. Back in my January update video and in subsequent update videos, which if you're on Patreon or YouTube and you don't watch those update videos, that's fine. But in those videos, I specifically said for 2025, I was kind of over a very specific trigger in stories. And I've told my moderators, I was like, look, I can handle a lot. I can deal with a lot. Like blood and gore, fine. Jump scares, I'll be a big pansy, but it's fine. Stuff that's like darker content, like child abuse, domestic abuse, I can handle it. We can talk about it. It's worthy of having a discussion. It needs to be talked about. There are some dark themes and heavy themes that don't bother me that I don't mind talking about. However, as of right now in 2025, I've just come off of watching 3 series in a row that do deal with sexual assault. And it's a trigger for me. It's something that I probably need to go to therapy about, if I'm being honest with y'all. But I've not reconciled through it. And after watching like the third series in a row that involved it, I was like, I need to take a step back and take a step away from that and kind of deal with that on my own time. And then maybe later watch a series like that. So I told my moderators, I was like, if you see a series on this list that does involve some sexual assault, we need to put that on the back burner. I don't want to know who's involved in it. I don't want to know the context. I don't want to know the plot because I like going in blind. But because it's a trigger that gets me very emotional in a negative, unhealthy mental way, I need to avoid it. So unfortunately, Made in Abyss, they were like, now's not the time. And I was like, okay, that's all I need to know. So I had to take that one off. So I'm not saying it's off the table permanently, but right now, no. So that's just kind of like a no-go for me. Then we had my favorite genre, which is like mystery and drama, supernatural, kind of like a big conglomeration, not miscellaneous, but kind of like drama, mystery, thriller. Let's just put it all together. So of the ones that were recommended, a lot of these I really want to see. 91 Days was so close. I really want to see a lot of these. It's sad that there's just not enough time. Too many anime and not enough time at once. I've got to spread it out. Like Bacano, 91 Days, Aka 13, the Ghost Stories English dub. God, I want to get to that eventually. Case Files of Julia Richard, that's been on here forever. Terror and Resonance has been. Parasite has been. Tatami Galaxy. All those have been recommended a lot. But Odd Taxi is one of the 12. It was right there at the end, but Odd Taxi is one that's been recommended a lot, and so I kind of want to see it. But also, I want to just preface that these series here, the ones that are all the rainbow, they're the ones that I put like a ×2, ×3, the ones that got recommended a lot by a lot of people. And I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So a lot of people are recommending these series. Now, granted, some people, like, for example, Penguin Drum, which I do eventually want to see, it got 2 recommendations, but I think one person just didn't scroll down and see the other recommendations, so they just recommended it themselves, which is fine. That's cool. So just because something was recommended by multiple people did not necessarily mean that everybody was liking it or hearting it or whatever. It just happened that way. But there were so many good ones that are on here that I want to keep in mind for future polls because they just look so good. Like the Dead Demons Day Destruction. That sounds awesome. Sakamoto Days. Netflix keeps pushing that. Zombieland. The Twilight Out of Focus. Akudama Drive. The Play It Cool guys. Now Blue Period, I've been told that might be a manga reaction choice, which is fine. But like Paranoia Agent, Kaiju number 8, like a lot of these were recommended a lot. They just didn't get recommended the most. So that leads us to our top 12. Now, Review Starlight was one I had to cross out. It wasn't going to make the top 12 anyway, but it's one I had to cross out because of subject matter. One that was definitely going to make the top 12, but again, y'all know SA is not on Romania's list right now. And I was told that one needs to be one I need to push aside for the moment. So I'm like, and I don't want in the comments people being like, well, it's not that bad. I said I don't want any of it. So I don't want any of it right now. And so that's just kind of like, and my moderators I trust because they know emotionally what has triggered me in the past with other shows. And they are trying to keep me mentally safe. That's not to say that I won't eventually get to Heavenly Delusion. But for right now, it's just now's not the time. So we're just going to put that one on there. So I hate that because a lot of people were recommending it. But at the same time, I'm like, your girl's got to keep herself mentally safe. So, and I don't want to start a show and end up hating it because of a trigger that could have been avoided. So it's like, nah, we'll just wait on that one. Maybe in a year when I'm in a better place mentally and spiritually, that would be acceptable. But for right now, so I went through and tallied up the top 12 series that were recommended based on their votes by patrons and that fit the criteria. So the top rated one was actually Girls Last Tour. It's 12 episodes. Seems pretty straightforward. Next, this one has been on the polls actually for about a year or two, and that is Descending Stories. Has 25 episodes. It has another name as well, which is Akagami. Oh, no. Showa Rakugo is its actual name, but Descending Stories. Windbreaker seems like a kind of polarizing show. Somebody on Patreon was like, that sucks. And I was like, don't tell me it sucks. I haven't even watched it yet. You don't know my taste. I may end up loving it. But it was the 3rd most recommended series. So it's on there. And it was on there last time. Gunbuster has actually been on the polls before. I actually have Gunbuster. I was sent Gunbuster as an unboxing gift. Now, granted, my Blu-ray player that hooks up to my computer will not let me screen capture, so unfortunately, I'd probably have to use files or watch it online. Tears. But it has been recommended. It's only 6 episodes, so if it wins, that's gonna be a short watch, and it's gonna be a fun, short summer watch. And then we'll go into other series. Fifth was Sunny Boy. I know nothing about it, so there's that. 6 was Orbs on Movement of the Earth. So that one's been recommended a lot. It's a new series. It's currently still running, but I think they said it was going to end being 24, 25 episodes. Snow White and the Red Hair has been recommended quite a bit. I've had people liken it to Yona of the Dawn, and I don't want to know anything more about it, so don't tell me anymore, but it's been recommended quite a bit. And then After the Rain sounds interesting. It was recommended. Erased and Oshi no Ko have been recommended a lot. That and Odd Taxi, they've been recommended on a lot of polls. So I'm glad they're here. I'm glad they consistently have been recommended. And then like Chorus Recoil was like the Magical Girl one that was recommended quite a bit. So that's my process of going through. You can see it has been like a lot of keeping up, a lot of organizing. I enjoy doing it. It's a lot of fun to me. But that's kind of my theory is I think that I will be able to go through and do a lot of polls in the future based on this, because I told Patreon that until I get to where I've got 3 shows on the channel right now that are long running that are going to last the rest of the year. I'm pretty sure until I get at least one of those shows completed, I don't want to do another long running show, because some people, want just me to see more short series so that I get more of a breadth. I like quantity as well as quality, and y'all have given me lots of quality shows, so I feel like the quantity just makes sense. But yeah, so then it came time to determine placement on the wheel. So as far as placement on the wheel goes, I did it a couple different ways. I started out with my favorite color. So my favorite color is green. And I did Girls Last Tour, which was the most popular choice. And then on either side, I did Windbreaker and Descending Stories, which are the next 2. Then I did Gunbuster and Sunny Boy. Then I did Orb on Movements of the Earth. And then I did Snow White and the Red Hair. Then I did Erased and After the Rain. And I did After the Rain in the blue part because it's After the Rain. I mean, come on. And then I did Odd Taxi, Oshi no Ko, and Lycoris Recoil. So I had the most recommended of the 12 versus the least, kind of opposite. And I just kind of worked my way around that way. And that's sort of that's what we did. So I'm pretty excited to see what we're going to get. I'm going to get out a little piece of paper here so I can do some, so I can jot down some notes as we go. Make sure I get my little pad of paper. All right. And we're going to basically go through and write down the ones as they get spin. Now, my rule is the one that gets to 3 recommendations for the one that gets 3 spins first on the wheel of causality is the one that we're going to pick. So, and I know that the wheel is a little bit tense, but I've tried to loosen it up and it just doesn't work. So who knows? I like the physical wheel. I know I could have done like a generic wheel, and I might do just a generic wheel to see if there's a comparison, but then it's like, which do you go with? So we'll see. We'll see on that. But all right. So starting with this, we're going to spin, and we're going to start with Girls Last Tour on my favorite color, and we're going to do a spin and see what we get first. Ooh, Sunny Boy. Okay. So Sunny Boy has 1. Okay. Oh, Descending Stories has got 1. All right. Get that down there. All right. Ooh, this was on Oshi no Ko. This is like the very beginning when it's like they each have 1. It's like it's still anybody's game. Ooh, After the Rain. Oh, man. Oh, buddy. We're getting all up in here. This is exciting. Okay. Girls Last Tour. Dang. This is just, now it's all a game of how's this going to fall. Ooh, Gunbuster. It's just gonna go through all of them and just be which are we gonna get to first? And I'm putting some force into this. Oh. Oh, orbs. Orbs movement of the earth. Everybody's like, oh God, what's it gonna be? Ooh. Oh, Gunbuster 2, baby. Once they hit 2, that's when it gets real. So Gunbusters has 2. Okay, all right. Oh. Odd Taxi. Okay. So far, it's Gunbuster's game, which Gunbuster's only has 6 episodes. That if that happens, it's not gonna be the end of the world. Oh, Sunny. Oh, now Sunny Boy has 2. Uh-oh. Oh, buddy. Oh, Snow White and the Red Hair. Okay. Snow White and the Red Hair. Oh. Oh, Licorice Recoil. Okay. Oh, buddy. Oh. Windbreaker. Okay. What's it gonna be? Oh, Erased. Damn. Almost all of them have at least one now. Oh my gosh. Okay, Windbreaker's got 2. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, Windbreaker has 2. Sunny Boy has 2. Gunbuster has 2. Okay. Gunbuster! Yeah! Okay. Well, look at that. All right. Okay. Hey! Okay, Gunbuster. Hey, the good news is it's only 6 episodes, which means by like end of June, we'll be picking another series. So yeah, I'm actually excited. I've had Gunbuster on the list for a while now. Now, the other series that you're talking about, here's the thing. Gunbuster, I'm probably going to do a poll of those top series that we're going to do Gunbuster for the Romania's Choice. And then of the series that were like the top ones, I'm probably going to take like the top 6 and I usually like top 6 or top 8. And we'll probably do a poll of those for summer to see what's going to come next. So for those of you that love Orbs Movement of the Earth, that love Windbreaker, that love all that, we're going to do a poll of those series when Gunbuster is over the next couple weeks. And then we'll have that for the summer. So hopefully that's okay. But I'm excited for Gunbuster. That should be a fun time. I've been wanting to watch it forever. So it'll be a fun time to talk about. And then we'll just go from there. I've heard it's 6 episodes, but they're like long episodes. So that's going to be a fun time. So I'm going to have to get started on that. So anyway, please comment down below if you are excited for Gunbuster. And the other series, they will be on a future poll. Don't you worry. The way that it works out, I told Patreon, and I told the Discord over on Patreon that we're going to have 4 series right now. This Gunbusters is going to round out around June. So we'll have a replacement in June. But in July, there are 4 series getting caught up at once. Now, one of the series, I already have a show picked out that's going to come out in July that we're going to watch as a replacement. So that one's already kind of determined. And then Dan to Dan season 2 is coming out in July. So that's going to be one of the replacements. And then the other 2 spots, though, will probably be polls based on this survey that I had of short series. So if your series did not make the cut, do not worry. We're going to have some polls in June that are going to determine those shows that are going to start in July. So yay. Anyway, I'm excited. I hope you all are as well. But in any case, thank you all so much for taking your time on Patreon to give the votes. Don't worry. Gunbuster's only going to be 6 episodes, and then we're going to be doing a poll with some of your favorites. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'll be back very soon with some more reactions. Bye.